Dear partners, guests, good afternoon. Welcome all of you to HKTE's themed seminar, Unlocking the Job Market, Career Growth and Opportunities in Hong Kong's Accounting Profession. I'm the MC of today's event. I'm also Debbie from HKTE. We would like to offer our sincere thanks to HKICPA and also Hong Kong Quality and Talent Migrants Association for the support. Our activity will also be broadcast online on our WeChat account and also broadcast in English on LinkedIn. We welcome all your questions in the Q&A session. This March, the government has expanded the talent list and also include the accounting profession. We believe many accounting professionals from overseas are very interested and want to know more about Hong Kong's accounting business. So our speaker of today's event, the first one would be Michael Lee, the council member of HKICPA and also partner of Zhonghui and CPA Limited. Please welcome him, Mr. Lee. Thank you. I would like to thank HKTE for offering this opportunity to share with you the overview of accounting profession in Hong Kong. I will spend around half an hour to talk about the Hong Kong accounting profession. First, I would like to share with you my personal experience. I'm also doing auditing. I'm in a Chinese CPA firm, has been to Hong Kong for a dozen years. I started with one of the four accounting firms, and then I worked in the local Chinese firms. So you may find that my Putonghua has a very heavy Hong Kong accent. Please tolerate my accent. So I will talk about the following aspects. First, well, it's about the accounting profession. We know that for the accounting profession, it's quite tiresome and very demanding, and we're also short-handed. And HKICPA, I'm also a council member of the association, so I would like to talk about the overview of the accounting profession in Hong Kong, and also from the perspective of HKICPA, what are the opportunities in the profession and what are the role and support from HKICPA. I will share with you three parts. First is about the overview of the accounting profession in Hong Kong. And secondly, I will talk about 3 points for the second aspect of the emerging opportunities for accounting profession. The first point is about sustainable development. The second is also a buzzword, that is innovation and technology. The third point is also echoing HKTE's theme, that is the connection with the mainland market. How can we help the mainland companies to go global, and how we introduce the mainland talents. And finally, I would talk about the role and support of HKICPA. So without further ado, we will start. So for the accounting profession in Hong Kong, there will around 47,000. And for Hong Kong's working labor, it's about 3 million in total, according to the government statistics. And for accountants, the registered CPA accountants is more than 47,000. But there are more accountants because some of the accountants have the overseas licenses. So in total, there will be around 100,000 accountant professionals in Hong Kong, including 12,000 accounting students. And we have 2 categories of our membership. First is a PAIP, that is by practice, like myself, and also the 2 other speakers fall into this category. That is, we are the practitioners. We work in the accounting firm. The other is the PIB. They work in the business. For example, in some multinational companies, in financial companies, there are also accountants. So we would categorize them in the business section. There will be two institutions to manage our professionals. First is HKICPA, which I am a member and also the council member. We would be responsible for training, developing the accounting profession, and setting up the standards of the industry. The other institution, before 2011, we also have the role of a supervision of the market. But because of some adjustments, and these adjustments are also consistent with the international trend, we need an independent institution for supervision. So the government also set up the AFRC, that is Accounting and Financial Reporting Council, to be an independent body of regulation and supervision for accounting profession. So for accounting profession, there will be two institutions. HKICPA is responsible for training and examinations organization. Second is for regulation. That is AFRC's business responsibility. And then what about the advantages of Hong Kong as an international financial center? We actually serve the capital, and since the 1980s, Hong Kong has already been the financial professional services providers. And what are the advantages of Hong Kong? I don't have to elaborate on that. I think we all know that Hong Kong, from history, more than 150 years ago, we started as fishing village, and then we focus on transfer trading business, and then we focus on for finance, financial services. So now we are already IFC, and then we need to talk about how can we maintain our position as an IFC. My personal opinion is that we still have some weak links to further strengthen. I have over 20 years of experience. I mainly focus on capital market. But apart from that, for the long-term money, long-term buy-side, and the fund, the hedge fund and the pension, compared with the U.S. and the Singapore market, we are still lacking. So in the coming 1 to 2 decades, as one of the offshore center of RMB, how can we maintain our IFC position? We need to strengthen our weak links. And we also talked about that we need to maintain our leading position as an IFC. Apart from making investments, there were some driving force behind those economic boom to further boost our industry. I think there were 3 drivers. First is about ESG or sustainability. And the ESG is about environmental, social, and governance, disclosure, and green finance. The other aspect is AI, media with a high valuation. Will AI replace accountants, lawyers, and doctors? How can we leverage on these technology tools? Finally, the final driver is how can we strengthen ties with the mainland market and help Chinese companies to expand overseas? How can we make advantage of the high talent access and the talent list, and also help the mainland talents to further develop in Hong Kong? So back to Hong Kong, you may have heard that Hong Kong has IFRS, which are very aligned with the international standards. And for mainland, actually, its accounting standards are also aligned with the international ones. So internationally, our recognition is quite good, very high. And apart from recognition, we also need some other qualifications. So you say that you are very international, but how can we show that? Actually, we have the mutual recognition and a reciprocal membership agreement with the overseas accounting professions. First is a reciprocal membership agreement, or RMA. You may have heard about it because, well, from the latest news about tariff, there is a reciprocal tariff, and we also have the reciprocal agreement. Secondly is the mutual recognition agreement, and finally is a mutual examination paper exemptions. So how can we differentiate these three? For reciprocal, as long as you have got the Hong Kong license or certificates, then through application you can get the accounting qualification from overseas. There were 7 to 8 of them. I already listed some more popular ones, like CNC, that is the accountants of Australia and New Zealand, and ICAEW, that is from England and Wales, and also CPA Canada. So after you get the Hong Kong certificates and licenses, then you can enjoy the reciprocal membership agreement. So that is like the reciprocal tariff. So secondly is there is also the mutual recognition agreement, like IMRA and for CPA Australia and ACCA. We think that as long as you get the Hong Kong license, then you can also get the partial examination of those CPA overseas. Then through application, you can get the mutual recognition agreement. That is, it's not a reciprocal, but it's mutual recognition. The final category is the mutual examination paper exemption. There's one that you may be interested, that is the HKICPA, that is from the Chinese Institute, and it is very hard to get. As you may heard, the passing rate is only, 10 to 20%. If you attend the examination from Hong Kong, it will be even more difficult because of the language barriers, etc. And for the CICPA already have 6 courses, and then you can be exempted from 4. So with 2, you can also already get the exemption. So our CPA qualifications is widely recognized. In conclusion, okay, so with that said, now I would like to talk about the emerging opportunities for the accounting profession. There were mainly 3. First is about sustainable reporting, or ESG. You may have heard ESG a lot. So ESG is about social, environmental, and governance. And ESG comes with the background that some companies, during their process of development, they damage the environment and also break some governance rules. So now IFRS also has rules to report the sustainability disclosure. So some standards are put forward. Actually, IFRS already included such disclosure. They say that if we handle this business to accountants, accountants already have some experience in terms of compliance and auditing. So if ESG is handed over to accountants, it will be very cost effective. So about ESG, now IFRS has issued a series of standards. Apart from that, For the disclosure, actually, there are not much work. In the future, if the companies want to reach the highest standard, they need to spend some resources to issue a report. After the report is completed, the accountants also need to audit the report to see whether you have reached the standards. So as an accounting firm and as accountant, we are auditing about the taxation, planning, and I will do some work related to figures verification. But in the future, it will be more than that. Not only limited to accounting and figures verification, our business scope may be expanded to ESG. And apart from compliance issues, there may be some advisory work involved. And maybe Jeff can also talk more about the ESG work because he's in the banking business. And for banking, we have heard about green finance and green loan. And if the company can reach certain standard on ESG, then we can also verify how good that company does in terms of ESG, and then the bank will issue loans to those company based on those standards. So we can ride on our experience and our knowledge and expertise about laws and regulations and compliance to do a good work on ESG. So in terms of ESG, accountants have a niche and an edge to explore more opportunities. Secondly, I can talk about more about it. That is about the innovative technology. You may have already heard DeepSeek and related AI companies. With the similar companies like DeepSeek, for the stock markets in mainland Hong Kong and the U.S. market, it have a certain impact. And 20 years ago, when I was still in college, actually, people were already talking about whether accounting business and accounting industry will be replaced by high tech and artificial intelligence. It is not a new topic at all. It has been around for already 20 years. Only that with supercomputing power nowadays, so with AI, very good results can be generated and for the use of people. So many people would worry that maybe lawyers and accountants will be replaced by AI. My personal judgment is that AI will be more like a tool. I would not use accountants. I would use lawyer and a legal profession. Actually, AI can produce the contract, like 80 to 90% of the formal contract, and the lawyer still need to review the contract, but before he need to draft the contract, but now he can have the final product with an extra effort of proofreading and editing. So I would like to use a metaphor. 50 years ago, when we did the consolidation of the balance sheet, we would compute by manual power. We would use the calculator instead of a computer to do the sums. And then when I entered into the business, there was already a computer, and then all the accounting work was computerized. And now we can use AI. I think in this sense, AI is like a tool. During our working procedure, it's from a manual to computer, to calculator, to computer, and now we have a more advanced tool for us to use. That is my personal judgment. I know some international firms are including AI in their routine work, in the auditing process in the future. For the the juniors, so their working procedures will be different from what I had in the past. I don't think there will be a replacement because finally we need the people to make the final judgment. So innovative technology is an opportunity. We often say that we are short-handed in our accounting profession. We can use AI and also more talents to do a good work in our business and build up our business. Finally, is our relationship with the mainland. I would like to thank HKICPA to hold this seminar. We have two things. First is the talent list. Last month, there was a new talent list from the government, and this list has newly included accounting professions. We can recruit some qualified accountants in Hong Kong from mainland. There may be some misunderstanding, and also COVID has changed our business landscape. A few years back, it was very difficult to recruit talents. Even the big firms cannot recruit very top talents. But now the industry has overcome that time, but still we need a lot of work on the young generation because now they have a very wide interests. They can start up their own business. They can do various other businesses. We still need some labor to supplement our industry. Now we need to introduce the mainland talents to Hong Kong. So that's why these talent list is expanded. Of course, apart from introducing the mainland talents, we also need to go out, go global, and we also work with the governments, the treasury departments to make a going global list, overseas list. And if the accounting firm is interested and has the mainland experience and think that they can help the clients to go overseas, then we have a partnership with the treasury departments. We have listed 81 accounting firms. 81 Hong Kong accounting firms are selected to help the Chinese companies to go global. This is enjoying a very good momentum, and it is also an area full of opportunities. Based on my perception about the market, the mainland market has a very fierce competition. Using their words, it's like very very competitive, and in that sense, the margin will be quite terrible. And also, there is some geopolitical tension and uncertainty. And the products and services of these Chinese companies need to expand to new markets. So that means they need to go global. In recent 2 years, I have encountered a few cases, including Russia companies. After you hear Russia, you will feel it's very worrisome. There will be war conflicts. And we need to make a clear decision whether to settle or not. And some other companies would go to Middle East and Southeast Asia. So we have following up on those fronts. And Hong Kong has the limited fund partnership, LPF, Limited Partner Fund, and many clients are also opening up, but there is not a core capital from these area. Some funds have opened, but they're still waiting for more money to come in. I feel that for this round, some European funds are also coming to Hong Kong. either going global or coming in, I think it will be a priority for us in the short to mid-term. Finally, is my final part. I still have a few minutes. I will talk about the role and support of HKICPA. The biggest difference from other institutions is that we are a professional statutory body under the Professional Accounting Ordinance. So we are a statutory body. We have the PAO ordinance. So you can regard that we are the qualification issuance institute. So like doctors and lawyers, the practitioners have to get certified. So we are the only body to grant such qualification. We were established in 1973, and there were a few changes about PAO, because in the old time we were taking the British exams. But then in 1997, there were some changes after the return of Hong Kong, and then the PAO also was revised. And lately, the regulatory power of HKICPA was also handed over to another institution. And we are also doing training and standard setting, etc., and examination organization. So all these are connected. We are an international body to run all these different businesses. The main part is providing the qualification programs and also the courses, CPD courses, and also the examination to become registered accountants. And after you get the qualification, you need to take a CPD every year to maintain the license and qualification. So we will do these things. And also, now we have over 10,000 examinees, and the passing rate is okay. We have received a complaint that our passing rate is too low. The highest would be around over 20%, and with training will be over 30%. Some individual modules can even reach over 50%, but on average, the passing rate will be around 30% plus. And every year, we are also doing some revision of our QP, the curriculum and program. For example, some interim qualification. For example, you got 2 to 4 courses passing. So these are some of the revision. For example, after you get 2 courses, you can get a certificate. With 4 courses, you have an interim qualification. And then with 6 courses, you can enjoy full partnership, membership. So that is the reform that we are taking at the moment. And now we are not doing the regulatory duty. And we focus on serving our members, like the internationalization, also the list of the talents, and also the mutual agreement of our members overseas. And now we have several agenda items to address. For example, AI and the Chinese companies going global initiative, and introducing the overseas companies to local market, and also there is the GBA development support. I'm also one of the member of the GBA committee of our association. Every year we will have some field trip and visits in GBA. For example, some for the big firms, our second-tier firms like mine, our contacts and liaison with mainland happens on a daily basis. And there is no barrier for us. But for our members, some of them are the local firms, and there will be 2,000 of them. And for these members, we need to provide some support to them, including connection and exposure opportunities. so we can offer the support through our platform. So in summary, HKICPA and also the accounting profession overview, there were 3 areas that can be the potential drivers for our further development. For the short term, we will focus on these 3 priorities. And behind that, we will follow the capital, follow the money. And now, based on the market situation, we have Hong Kong. Hong Kong is already IFC, but how can we maintain our position? Because the world is ever changing every day. There were several points that we need to follow, and we also welcome you for more exchanges later. So that's all about it. Thank you. Thank you, Michael, for your sharing. Please get seated. So we have known a lot about Hong Kong professional, very practical information. Now I would like to invite Ms. Cynthia Ning from PwC Assurance Partner, and also Ms. Kathleen Wang from PwC Tax and Business Advisory to talk about how to start a career in the accounting profession in Hong Kong. They will share the career path and also their thoughts about how to integrate into Hong Kong community. Good afternoon. I'm Cynthia. I'm from PwC Hong Kong. I'm the assurance partner. I'm Cynthia Ning. I'm very happy to be invited by HKTE to do a sharing. I think the reason that I was invited is that I'm a senior Gangpia, the migrant. I have been to Hong Kong for 10 years, and before that, I worked in PwC Beijing. And just now, Michael has given a very professional sharing about the accounting firms' developments. And I'm a living example, actually. Before I enter into my content, I would like to introduce myself. I was working in PwC Beijing in auditing. I also transferred in different positions, and then there is an opportunity in our firm, working in Hong Kong and Singapore, and I chose Hong Kong. And then I found that I'm quite fit into the Hong Kong environment. I also found that in the Hong Kong accounting firms, the talents from mainland are quite limited, like 10 years ago. So for the mainlanders, there were opportunities for mainlanders to develop in Hong Kong. So I tried to localize, and I also got promoted as a partner and to do some mainland-related business. That is my personal experience. So because of this, I'm very happy to share with you around 3 themes. First is the analysis of Hong Kong accounting industry. Secondly, experience of integrating into Hong Kong. What are our advantages and disadvantages? And thirdly, what is the future development opportunities and challenges, including AI's challenges to the industry? And maybe some of the content has been covered by Michael through a very professional perspective, and I would like to share from my personal perspective. So I only stand on behalf of myself, not representing my firm. That is a disclaimer. Okay, analysis of Hong Kong accounting industry. Michael already shared about the distribution of Hong Kong accountants. Hong Kong has a population of 7 million, and for accounting population around 10,000, around 100,000, and registered accountants around 50,000. And most of them would work in the accounting firms. I have a categorization of different firms. That is, this categorization is based on the regulatory body and policy. There were 3 types. That is type A, type B, and type C. For example, the number of listed companies they serve. And for type A, you can imagine the 4 big firms and the 2 very famous ones. And for type B and type C, their scale is smaller, but they are also serving the listed companies mainly. And there were also category D and E. For D, They serve the non-listed companies, but they are quite large in scale. And Yi is also serving the private companies with a smaller scale. In Hong Kong, there are also some accounting professionals. They are not working in the firms, but they are licensed CPA, and they have the signing authorization. And in Hong Kong, actually, they can also sign the auditing report. So you may see that a very small accounting firm with only 2 people, they can do the auditing business. That is the past. And back to the Big Four, taking PwC as an example, for auditing business, the whole team is around 1,000 to 2,000. And the PwC is the largest in the Big Four, and EY has a smaller scale, around 1,000 people in auditing. And for Deloitte and also the other 4, less people further. And now for our talent structure, including the mainlanders and the Hong Kong locals. For the mainlanders, the ratio is very, very low. I can say in this way, the entry level for the freshmen, for the juniors, with mainland background, I think there will be 3 to 4 out of 10. But with over time, after 3 to 4 years experience, if they're freshmen from the mainland background, after 3 to 4 years of experience, they would choose to leave the Big Four. So on the manager level, with a 5-year experience plus, will be very low ratio, only 1 to 2 out of 10. And for partners, the ratio will be even lower. So I'm very fortunate to stand here today. I'm the only one in our firm in the auditing business from mainland, and Kathleen is one of the 2. So this is about the talent structure. And when we do the college recruitment, fewer and fewer local students are willing to come into our industry, because for the local students, they have many other business opportunities, because auditing is a quite demanding industry. There will be more and more students from mainland background. And for our clients, we find that there are more and more mainland Chinese companies. They want to go global. They set up their Hong Kong branches. And then after they settle in Hong Kong, their accounting team is also having a structural change. Talking about career path, I think for the Big Four, you may know a little bit already. Actually, it's quite a transparent career path. 5 years, you will do the auditing and the senior, from junior, senior, and then over 5 manager, and then senior manager, and from senior manager to partner. It depends on your fortune. So with experience of 12 to 13 years, you can be partner. But now with a downturning economic situation, it may take longer time. But the career path is quite transparent. And about the options, actually Big Four is a very big platform. On the platform, you can do various transfer of your positions, and you can even go to other departments. And with the Big Four background, you can also jump into other industry, like Jeff, our moderator. He is a very typical successful example, using to work in Big Four, then go out to banking business, very versatile talent. Michael used to work in Big Four. Now he is a senior management in a Chinese accounting firm. So for the career options, actually there were a lot of options. After some work in Big Four, if you want to go to the clients, to the in-house, they actually also need some in-house experience, even without any financing option, I think that is not the companies would want. And you may also know that as an auditor, as an accountant, it's very demanding. In the peak season, you have to do OT overnight for 3 to 4 months. Because our profession is a very old one, especially accountants. It has over 100 years of history. And for this industry, it is a labor-intensive one. We have not transitioned our model for such a long time. So in such a socio-economic environment, the auditing fee is quite low, and the regulatory environment is quite stringent. So we need to spend more time on the basic auditing business and work. So we will be very busy in that sense. But I'm very optimistic. I think with AI and technology development, our industry will change, and for the practitioners, it is a good thing. So this is about the first aspect I want to focus. Second is about the experience of integration into Hong Kong. I think the most important tips is you have to learn Cantonese. It is a quite pragmatic thing for you to face. When I first entered into Big Four in Hong Kong, there were not much mainlanders. Everybody is speaking Cantonese to you. I think I feel very miserable, even then when I go to the foreign countries, because I can speak English, but Cantonese, I understand nothing at that time. So I really registered a Cantonese learning course. And then I found that if you can understand Cantonese and can speak Cantonese with the locals, then my local colleagues will accept you to accept that you will be their colleagues and you are in their circle. I think that has to do with the local Hong Kong culture or the Canton culture. These cultural recognition is very important. So after you learn Cantonese, can you really integrate? I think it is not necessarily the case. It also depends on your friend circle, whether you are willing to interact with them. But for the first step, if you want to quickly integrate, language is the first thing to do. And for the pros and cons, about talent, firstly, I think many of you have work experience already. I don't know about your background, but from my observation about the differences and similarities of Hong Kong and the mainland talents, I think for the Hong Kong colleagues, they are more like a craftsman. They're like the Japanese craftsmen. They follow the rules. They are compliance-driven, and they would focus on doing things. But for the mainland talents, they may lack in this aspect, but their macro view is more is much stronger, and they are also willing to explore some innovative solutions. So for a team with both mainlanders and Hong Kong locals, we can supplement each other. We can complement each other. We need to learn from one another. All the pros and cons are both experiences and lessons. And for the mainlanders, I think it is a very high demand for the talents with mainland background. At least in Big Four, we need the supplement from the mainland talents. For the short run, this is an advantage for us. Finally, is opportunities and challenges in the future. Michael has done a lot of sharing on this aspect, and I would like to focus on Big Four. And from my personal experience, for opportunities, first is regulation. There are heavier and heavier regulation. Actually, there is an ordinance to supervise and regulate the accounting professions, like the U.S. The PCOB's regulation, and also in mainland there are CSRC. So in the international environment, there is a very heavy regulatory environment. That is a protection for the companies because accountants are closely linked to regulation. With heavy regulation, we need accounting professionals. That is a good thing. On the other hand, we also see the demand for more compound talents. In the past, we need to know more about the compound bookkeeping and also some basic accounting rules. Now we also need to know about the system, and even you are able to write the code and check out some errors in the accounting systems, and you need to know about the AI tools and also the internal governance structure of the company. So there is a high demand for the compound ability of the talents. So this business will continue, and only that it has a higher demand for the talents. Challenge, it's the other side of the opportunity. With heavier, more stringent regulation, and now we have the quite negative economic outlook, even globally. So for companies, there is a higher and higher risk to fake the balance sheet, and there will be higher risk if there is some non-compliance practices, and there will be very severe geopolitical tension. And on regulations, the two powers will also have different views. And there were also complex international situation. For example, for some multinational companies auditing, some companies are facing the sanction, so we cannot do our work anymore. The other is some new technologies impact on the industry, like AI. So we have to review the talent structure. For example, the team structure, well, half of them would be the junior in the past, and we need 1 or 2 managers and 1 partner. But in the future, we don't need that much junior accountants. We need some more managing level talents to face different risks and manage the risks. So that is a change needed to face the opportunities and challenges. Michael also talked about AI. HKT also mentioned that. Actually, I think you may be interested in its change brought by AI. First is the industrial change. For example, some general large model and popularization of AI carriers and economic model change. I think we are using AI. To put it simply, accountants may use some AI tools. Actually, they are similar, like the general large big model, some translation tools, software, and some search AI, searching AI. Actually, we are also using this. And also, from mobile phones to the smart automobiles, they are the AI carriers. But in the future, AI actually has a very big potential. For example, the former World Bank head said that artificial intelligence will transform the global economy, and let's make sure that it benefits the human being. So the question is whether we are the 20% that will be heavily affected by AI. It may be, because some basic work may be affected. And if not, our industry will not disappear. It's not design industry. Well, our industry has the reason, a strong reason for existence. Big Four is also continuing to study on AI, like how our clients are using AI. More and more of our clients, as we observe that in their business and finance and accounting, they are already using AI technology. In terms of business, there are some scenarios. You may use a Ctrip to book flights and hotels. Everybody would see different prices. Actually, you have been targeted by AI because of that, and use it Didi for taxi. So the mileage calculation and also the map calculation are also based on AI. So AI already are in our everyday life, and our clients are using AI. And for the accounting and the financial apps, there were not many AI-based tools. Now the AI are more like searching and translation. There were two types of AI. One is the general AI. The other is the generative AI. And for the accounting report, we're using the basic AI, that is the general AI, based mainly on the big model. With the changes from our clients, there are also some different guidelines, audit guidelines related to AI algorithm. So how can we audit the AI content? That is one of the biggest challenges we face. So what is the responsibility of auditors when we face the AI content? I don't know if you have the accounting or auditing background. What we can do is first the data, whether the data is accurate, whether the results is explainable, and whether about the responsibility and governance, and also the deviation identification. So we will look at these 5 areas. Actually, many top research bodies are also studying these AI algorithms and also testing them. I hope that there will be more exchanges with you in the future about some new developments. So some of my own observations. First, whether AI will replace auditing, my opinion is no. Because the responsibility of auditor is to issue the audit opinion on the financial statements, evaluate the legality of financial statements, and also the fairness of the financial statements. So to put it simply, we have our accountability. There will be only people to have the accountability, not machine. So this industry will not disappear. There need to be an independent third party, and that third party must be a human, a person. And then what are the procedures that may be replaced by AI? To put it simply, about the procedures like the risk assessment, control testing, and the substantive testing. The auditing procedures are very basic, like observe, examine, ask, re-execution, recalculate, confirmation, etc. It has not changed much in the 100 years history. Like analysis, AI can do that. They can even recalculate. And for confirmation, actually, we don't need AI. We only need to get connected to the internet. We only have to confirm with the banks. So for these areas, we can use the technology to replace. And AI can do some information processing, standardization, information analysis, and integration. It can improve the quality and efficiency of auditing, and can process the information. We do not have to worry whether the auditor is in good shape and in a very high efficiency mode. Actually, we can use AI to produce outcomes 24 hours without stop. But of course, there are some challenges. For example, transparency of information, whether there will be data leakage risks. And when we promote these technology tools, the company is also thinking about what kind of information can be disclosed to the auditors. That is another challenge. And the other aspect is the AI responsibility versus lack of trust in AI. I think that is also the questions considered by the regulatory bodies. How can we use AI? To what extent we can use AI? What is the borderline between AI and the auditors? And also, the Big Four are further investing in AI. We spent $1 billion. That is from last year. Actually, we are continuing to expand the investment, like EY also, to a similar scale. The trend is unstoppable. The industry will be rewritten, but our industry will still exist. Goldman Sachs also think that AI may be affected by AI. One of the I think DeepSeek already passed the 4 exams. I think it will be a matter of time for it to pass all. So what we need to think about? We need to think about 2 things. What knowledge is retained by humans to ensure that we can do the most important professional judgments? Secondly, what tasks can be entrusted to AI to improve efficiency and quality? I think these are the questions considered by our industry and also the regulatory bodies. If we get clear answers of these questions, there will be clear changes. So that's all I want to share. I also heard about some questions about industry certification, job opportunity, and visa issues. For certification, Michael already covered that. HKICPA would be the body to issue the certification. If you have some certificates that you can, get some reciprocal or some mutual agreements, there will be job opportunities. And for visa, it depends on whether you have a work in Hong Kong. This work can help you get the work visa application. Okay. That's all. Thank you. My colleague Kathleen will continue. Thank you, Cynthia. Friends online and present, I'm Kathleen Wang. I'm Cynthia's colleague. After you heard the sharing, he's from Tsinghua. He's a very top talent. Cynthia is not only excellent in terms of her performance, he is also very good friend. She told me that there is a sharing, a pro bono event of sharing. Actually, we are very busy, but then, she persuaded me to come because she thought this is quite meaningful. Actually, we have some business trip arrangements, but she gave up her work to support this seminar. We would like to thank Cynthia and Michael for their sharing. And for my part, I want to chat with you. I have 20 years of experience in Hong Kong. So just to give you some reference from my own experience. 20 years ago, I come to Hong Kong through the high school examination, and then I had my bachelor's degree in Hong Kong, and then after graduation, I worked in Big Four. And many people think that, you had, you just directly came from high school examination to Hong Kong. But it's not the fact. I'm not the top talents. In high school, I have a very mediocre performance. And the result of the entrance exam is 30 scores lower. At that time, you have to, at my time, you have to estimate your score, and then you just make the application, and then you know the results. And then I had a shock because I overestimated my performance. I have 2 choices. I need to do a second-year college and then spend 400,000 in City University of Hong Kong. At that time, City U is not the top universities in Hong Kong. But then I still decided to come because I wanted to go to a new city, to have a new experience. So I came to Hong Kong. And Hong Kong is also as I expected. Actually, I feel quite fresh. I got new experience. The learning experience is different. You also came to know different people. For example, about food. Well, food you don't have to worry. If you were in mainland, you have parents preparing. But every day in Hong Kong, I have to encourage myself because I have to order in Cantonese. And then when I queue up in canteen, I need to practice internally. You order the set A, and then I will I will drink what kind of drink, and then I have to rehearse internally the Cantonese ordering process. And then in terms of study, in mainland, we use Chinese textbooks, and also the courses are delivered in Chinese. But in Hong Kong, all the textbooks and the teaching will be conducted in English. And then I spend a lot of time in the library because I cannot understand a thing. So after the courses offer, I will read the English textbook. I will translate into Chinese and then do my summary and to summarize in a way that I can understand. And I found that, well, my past 18 years experience was in vain. Can serve as no reference for me when I studied in Hong Kong. So it changed my way of studying. I have to learn by myself and have to be quite self-disciplined. And for the final exam of the first semester, I got the highest score of all the mainland students. And because of that, I got a grant, the scholarship. That is the Chen Dahe scholarship with 10,000 people. And the Mr. Chen Dahe was invited to offer this scholarship to me. He is a very amiable person, as I recall. And he said that you are all excellent students. You need to keep up. And I felt from that experience that Hong Kong is actually rewarding a hardworking student. It will be positive feedback if you work hard. And then I continue to spend a lot of time in library after the courses are off. I spend all the time in libraries. Well, Hong Kong would have a very long period of examination. And then by 5 to 6 o'clock, I would wake up and I just went to the library and take a very good seat. And then I would dive myself into the studying, and then the nighttime I would watch TVB and some the U.S. episodes. So I was very hardworking at that time, every day. So based on these efforts, I also got the Jockey Club scholarship. It's a full scholarship for 4 years of study. It gave me 400 to 500,000. So my tuition is covered. My daily expenses are also covered. I still have some surplus because of this scholarship. And then the first year after graduation, there was the 2008 financial crisis. I still remember the salary, 11700. That is my salary. But then there is no pay leave, and then that left me with 8,000 Hong Kong dollar. Not enough to cover my daily expenses. So I still live on the savings of my scholarship. So without any exaggeration, my scholarship is my first bucket of earning. The scholarship is not a financial support. Every year, Jockey Club would invite the scholarship recipients to the Jockey Club and do some interviews from media and the TV station, talking about your own stories and your ambition. There will be a very important ritual ceremony, and also invite us to participate in some philanthropy work of the Jockey Club. So that is my highlight moments in Hong Kong. Because of all these experience in the past 20 years, I never thought about leaving Hong Kong or giving up Hong Kong, because my 4-year bachelor's life in Hong Kong made me feel that Hong Kong is a fair society. No matter what background you have, as long as you strive your best, it will give you positive reward. there will be many people that can give you the positive energy, like Mr. Chen Daho, and also Jockey Club Jockey Club of Hong Kong, and also like the Talent Association and HKTE. These organizations are helping people in need free of charge. So after graduation, I entered the Big Four, the current company that I still serve. At that time, I was allocated to the Hong Kong Affairs Department. And my other student peers are allocated to the mainland tax team. I felt very strange because as a mainland background people, I feel very strange that I was allocated to the local Hong Kong team. So I accept the destiny's arrangement and worked in the Hong Kong tax team. In the first few years, I think I was not having a very smooth development because there was the financial crisis. Every month, I cannot really cover my expense with my income. And then I was not very welcome by the senior people because for the KPI, for the freshmen, we would look at the chargeable hours. We have to fill up the time log. I remember my chargeable hours is only numbered, less than 50%. So for the KPI assessment, I am in the bottom. So it would be very difficult to get promoted to as associates. And at that time, I wondered why it's very hard to adapt. First is language, like Cynthia mentioned. In college, in university, I used English, so I can PK with my local students. But when you enter into into company, you need to use Cantonese. You need to communicate with your colleagues and supervisors in Cantonese, with the clients using Cantonese, and with the Inland Revenue Department, or you still need to use Cantonese. And this Cantonese is not for ordering dishes. You need to express yourself fluently in Cantonese. So I felt that I cannot really exercise my advantages at all. For the company training, I feel myself very stupid because I can hardly and clearly express myself in Cantonese. But there were some local Hong Kong peers. They are very good people. They are very willing to share. So some of the work skills are not taught by my seniors, but by my peers. So I survived the first few years. And then I found that it started to get better. First, my Cantonese is better because you are forced to to speak Cantonese to your clients, your colleagues, and also the government agencies. You are more good at it, and then practice makes perfect. So I also introduced my studying model into my work. So when there is some tax changes, some tax rationales, I would like to comb based on my learning habits and learning model. And we also need to write good report. Tax experts have a format to write the report, and this is also based on experience. Thirdly is, the Chinese economy is rapid in the past few decades. When I first entered into the company, my clients are either Hong Kong companies or foreign companies, but with a few years' experience, I see more and more Chinese companies' clients. And for Hong Kong colleagues, they are very good at writing in English, but writing in Chinese is a very miserable thing for them. At that time, they also find difficult to speak Putonghua. So all these Chinese company clients are handed over to me. So it is you can only leverage your advantage when you as a mainlanders are doing the Hong Kong tax. So I'm very grateful for the HR who persuade me to keep in the Hong Kong tax team. Now I was promoted to the partner for the tax and business advisory service. Some people may say that the business is very simple, but just because the Hong Kong tax is simple with low taxes, many companies, that's why many Chinese companies want to settle in Hong Kong, because they have the tax, low tax demand. And in recent years, with the international environment changing, there will be also some changes in the taxation regime. We have two advantages. First is the offshore tax exemption. The other is the capital tax exemption. We have the new ordinance, and we also have the profit tax optimization scheme, and plus the appeal to 15% cap of tax, and also Hong Kong's competition with the neighboring countries and regions, like family offices and the funds tax exemption, or the proprietary venture. There are also some legal cases. We also need to go to the court with the IRD. So there is something worthy doing. So this is my experience. Finally, 3 points about the accounting profession. First, your skill set is your main advantage. Hong Kong is a fair society, even more for the accounting profession. So you need to count on your key abilities. So like license and qualification, you need to invest in yourself. You will not regret for doing that, like a CPA license or the taxation planner. There are also some license. Secondly, when you face different options and offers in this business, do not over-concentrate. You may see that some of your friends and peers go to the same industry with a lower threshold. You can reimagine, rethink whether you have other offers with a higher threshold, but it will differentiate yourself from other people to do some other things. Like as a mainlander, do the Hong Kong tax, you will feel very comfortable in the beginning, but actually these paths will be sustained. In the first beginning of years, it may not be so smooth, because you need to adapt to the new environment, a new knowledge, a new language, and a new culture. We need to spend some time to adapt and to adjust. I think we have a very hardcore, so we can survive those difficulties, like what Jack Ma said. Today is difficult, tomorrow too, but the day after tomorrow will be beautiful. So we have to head for the day after tomorrow. There's no magic in Hong Kong, but there are possibilities. As long as you work hard, there will be more possibilities. I hope you will all get your own dream realized. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now there is a Q&A session. If you want to raise questions, please raise your hand. And those online, please raise your question in the chat box. We will try to arrange answers. We are very happy to have invited Mr. Jeff Zhang, the Executive VP of Financial and Accounting Industry Division of Hong Kong Quality and Talent Migrants Association, to chair the Q&A session. First, thank you, the three elites from the accounting industry. Very insightful, very pragmatic, and very touching personal journey. We have learned a lot. I'm from Hong Kong Quality and Talent Migrants Association. We are also committed to helping the new migrants to Hong Kong. So if you want to know more about our association, please approach us. We have our colleagues here. So I'm the moderator of Q&A session. I will raise questions to experts. Various questions are welcome, including the profession or occupation, their industry, and personal experience. Any language is welcome. Okay. Because the license are got in the United States, will it be helpful? Maybe Michael can answer that. I would say that it will surely help because there are many professional organizations. Some are reciprocal, some are mutual agreement, some are also the partial examination exemption. So you are asking about the HKICPA. For CRMA, they are actually have the mutual agreement, and some exam papers can be exempted. There were around 100,000 practitioners in accounting and around 47,000 registered in HKICPA. So it's like half-half. The other half have some other licenses. And we also have to see which industry, if it's in commercial, then CRMA have a very high relevance. So you need to see what the recruitment position of that company and also the industry of that company, so that you will see what kind of a qualification they require. For example, it's a Hong Kong listed company, a private Chinese company, then they would see whether you have the HKICPA or CICPA, because most of the business would be in Hong Kong and mainland. They would not consider AICPA, but if it's a MNC or Alibaba, which have business in Hong Kong and also got listed in Hong Kong and the US, so they may have other considerations about qualification. So it is a good thing to have the qualification, but you also need to see what kind of work, which industry, and what position, and what are the requirements. Thank you. I want to ask Kathleen, can you talk about tax planner? What are the regulation and the qualification requirements? What about the taxation experts requirement? For tax, there is no qualification required, no mandatory, but we have the tax association, and that association will also issue some license or qualification. When you look for the jobs with such qualification, you may get more recognition, but it's not mandatory. For Big Four, they do not need the tax planner to get a CPA, but in promotion, if you want to be promoted to tax manager, at least you have to get the CPA from HKICPA or CICPA. It will be an edge, and it will be the requirement for promotion. But we do not have the mandatory requirement. We do not need a license or qualification. It is only a recognition, a matter of recognition. Yes, it's an association. Yes, the tax is association. How about other countries like Australia? Yeah, they have different tax laws. Maybe we can, well, further exchange about it. I will simply do some simple response because for tax, actually, it has a lot of the wide scope. There are taxation jurisdictions. For license, there are not mandatory requirements, but with those license or qualification, you may enjoy an edge. Actually, every jurisdiction has a different tax regime. Kathleen is mainly focusing on Hong Kong tax. So for other countries, we can talk about it later. Any other audience? You have to seize the opportunity. So for the Big Four, for the accounting firms, the main responsibility is auditing, accounting, and tax. If you have no questions from the audience, I will ask my own question. From Cynthia, Kathleen, and Michael, many Chinese companies come to Hong Kong to open their branches. I think one of the attractive points is Hong Kong has a very low tax rate, around 70%. I used to work in Big Four. But for the lowest tax rates, what is the impact on Hong Kong if it is exercised globally? What is the impact and incentive to come to Hong Kong? So, well, Jeff is really very knowledgeable with the 15% lowest rate. That is the hot topic. But we have to clarify the applicable people. The applicable targets are the big companies with a total revenue over 750 million euros. Only these companies are the targets of these lowest tax rate. Most other companies are above that requirement. Of course, there will be some taxation regime in Hong Kong that can make the companies enjoy a lower than 50% tax rate. But for the big companies, they will not be subjective to those new influence. But if they are susceptible, then they need to do some analysis. You need to pay. They need to pay some compliance fees, costs, to make some tax arrangements. So that's some of the questions we need to think about. I would add one trend I observed. I think after the Pillar 2 and the new requirements like open, there are more and more companies from mainland to open the regional headquarters in Hong Kong. Like Ali, they have the headquarters, Xiaohongshu, and Xiaomi. These big, successful Chinese companies are all opening their offices in Hong Kong. I would also add up 2 points. For the Pillar 2, I also had some knowledge. I also sent to your partner, Yan. So in the future, in BVI and in Hong Kong, what is its benefit? I'm not a tax expert, but from my observation, there will be more Chinese companies coming to Hong Kong. So I echo with Cynthia. They would focus on PE, relation, liquidity. For those companies who come to Hong Kong, they may not reach the Pillar 2 threshold. You are very sharp to find out. But actually, I jumped from accounting to banking, especially after COVID and with the tax, tariff, and trade war. Many people are concerned about the security and the return of capital. So these are the opportunities for the banking industry. So we are serving the capital, and we're just following the capital. And you have answered the question about the lowest tax rate. So qualification is a must. I think there is a new arrangement in GPA with one examination can get 3 licenses. What are the opportunities of this arrangement? Can you share with us? Thank you for your question. So for GPA, you may see that for lawyers, they have the GPA lawyers examination 4 years ago. Many Hong Kong lawyers went to get to pass the examination. Then the next question is how Hong Kong can integrate into GBA. You can, well, imagine that in this way, we have different laws, legal system. We have a common law in Hong Kong, but mainland has a different law system. The laws and regulations may vary greatly, and the financial system of Hong Kong and mainland may be more complex. So in terms of the examination, it may not be that speedy in our accounting profession. And in Shanghai, actually, they are very proactive. They have already completed the infrastructure building. They welcome Hong Kong people to practice. So accountants are not like the Hong Kong lawyers to practice the business in GPA area like the lawyers, but while still accountants. The relative accounting departments in mainland are already discussing how Hong Kong accountants as the foreign investor to participate in the offshore business. That is, how can you, with a Hong Kong qualification as a Hong Kong accountant, do some offshore business in GBA, not the onshore business? It need to take some time. Various policies may come in the way. So from PwC, the practitioner's perspective, so what are the policies of the integration, like your rotation and transfer of positions? What opportunities you have? Just now we mentioned we still are short-handed in our law firm. We still have a large gap of talents. We may introduce some talents from Beijing, Shanghai. Some will rotate here in Hong Kong. In the past, there were more overseas rotation from Australia and UK, but now there were more rotations from the mainland. So Big Four actually are leading in the way. They encourage such rotation arrangements. But for qualifications, actually, in terms of knowledge, it's similar. So if the mainland want to get the qualification in Hong Kong, they can get through the mutual agreements of CICPA and HKICPA. It's relatively simple. They can only take a few exams. And for the mainland students, they think that it's easier to get the HKICPA. And then through HKICPA, they get the CICPA. I also get the two qualifications. It is easier and more convenient to get two qualifications if you to serve two parties. Well, really, you are really an excellent person to get both qualifications. I cannot do that myself. So we can see that Hong Kong has a very close relationship among the accounting, taxation, and other professional services. There is a discussion lately that is the equivalent. Many people are talking about the equivalent of tariffs and the reciprocal tariffs arrangement. So in the finance industry, we are talking about reciprocal tariff, and then that may be the beginning. There will be some decoupling of some capital. And we can see that Hong Kong is accessing common law, but mainland is accessing the civil law. Hong Kong's advantage is bridging with the overseas markets, but will there be some risks? Because now Hong Kong's accounting regulation is aligned with IFRS, which may be different from the U.S. Regulations. So will there be some risks that there will be some decoupling risks of the two sides? I will answer first. Jeff actually an expert because he is doing banking business. I think, well, from the presentation, we already have the international standards alignment. Actually, there will be some Commonwealth countries like Australia and New Zealand. They have a mutual or reciprocal recognition. Put geographical things aside because it did not start it today. It already started many years ago. But with that, we still have the reciprocal and the mutual recognition. So there is no decoupling. But some people may concern that the AICPA, indeed, in 2022 and 2023, there was no mutual recognition. That is a commercial decision. When they negotiate and then they find there are some unfair arrangements, and then there will be some extra examinations to take. So AICPA also did not have the mutual recognition agreement. I think it will maybe partially influenced by geopolitical tension, but there was some also business and commercial decision. I cannot see any decoupling risks in the future. Last year, HKICPA also signed MOU with the Singapore counterparts. That is a Singapore International Accountants Institute. So in the MOU, there is announcement that we will arrange a reciprocal or mutual agreement. Now we are still discussing. It may take 1 or 2 years to settle down. So we may add Singapore into this agreement in a few years' time. But the environment is changing. Some will go, some will come. So now there will be no abrupt changes. So I will talk from the perspective of company. given the global situation, many companies have paved the way very early, like Ali, who is my client. They chose to list it in Hong Kong and in the main board in Hong Kong last year. So before the geopolitical tension between the U.S. and China, companies already take preemptive arrangements. So when the company reach a certain scale, it will be no problem to get listed in Hong Kong. And for accountants, the differences of the two rules are not complex issues. It is only a matter of work procedure. It is not a barrier. As long as the Hong Kong Exchange and the company is ready, then as a service provider, the procedure is not complicated. We see more and more companies are coming to Hong Kong to get listed. I will explain from the tax because we talk about tariff. I didn't mention audit and accounting because some positions may be replaced by AI. So what about tax? Tax is a very strange business. When the economy is good, tax will not have a very obvious growth. But when the economy is down, the tax business will not be that bad. Why? Because tax is one of the two things that you cannot avoid from birth to death. One is death, the other is tax. So when we can have a new growth, there will be new environment, new policies like a tariff. So people may think about some more maneuver room for tax arrangements, how to look at new policy. So there will be some new demands generated. So tax is a quite smooth and stable industry. Okay. Okay, banking experience. I will just represent myself. First is quite sudden. Overnight, we see a lot of taxes, and then another day, it's been doubled. So for the companies, because of the tariff, we know that in 2017, it was added by 20%, then with another 10 to 15%. Actually, companies will have a very little feel. Because apart from the real estate companies, the property companies and the heated up PV solar business with the highest margin, it's not as high as 30%. So with those tariffs, no industry can do a very effective business with such high tariff. With 35 and 40% tariff, no company will choose to do business with the U.S. So 30 to 40 tariff is meaningless. And then back in 2017 and 18, many Chinese companies are making some other arrangements. Like when they go overseas, they will not choose the U.S., but to Southeast Asia, to Africa, to Middle East, and even South America. So those traders are impacted heavily by the tariff. The companies would concern more about the safety of capital. During COVID, there were also some arrangements like Singapore. Some money go to Singapore, but now some money flow back because of the geopolitical tension and also infrastructure consideration. So now Hong Kong is having a very large amount of capital. So with that, people would think about return and safety. But with the very high volume, then the return, the interest rate will not be that high. So people will rethink the direction of investment. And then these, with the new tariff by the U.S., actually they are increasing tariff on all the countries. So they are kind of restructuring, dismantling the procedure. They are only dismantling, but no restructuring at all. So there will be pressure on the U.S. On the U.S. dollar, like euro, like gold, and also RMB. People may think that RMB will seek positive depreciation, but it's not the case because the market is prepared and well, actually our ideas now are quite different from what we would have 10 years ago. I think our time is about it. Final words from each speaker to our audience. What is the takeaway? Only one sentence as a sum up. Thank you. Cross-border business is also quite promising. Thank you. Hong Kong's future is also to be expected. Promising. Oh, I will talk about the China's future next. Okay, thank you. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you all the audience participation and also sharing of the guests. We would like to thank HKICPA and Hong Kong Quality and Talent Migrants Association for your support. Now it's a networking session. You're welcome to stay. And please hand back the questionnaires to our colleagues so that we can design better events for you. Thank you for your participation. See you next time.